What is up, everybody? This is your boy Jay Reed coming at you with another episode of Sports Blitz Media. Now, today we got the honor and privilege of interviewing a really good friend of mine and a phenomenal artist by the name of Pedro Placencia. Now, those who know Pedro know that he does phenomenal work. All right. And he's going to come on the podcast to talk to us about how sports meets art. And he's also going to talk about some of the opportunities he's gotten through his artwork. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, everybody. My man Pedro is on the pod here to talk to us about his work, how he got started. And Pedro, me and you have gone way back. And one thing I can say is you've always been a very artistic individual. I go back to ceramics class when I'm in here making fish with Santa Claus hats, and you're killing it, creating D100s, cups and mugs, and anything and everything you've done from your fashion sense into your artistic ability. So I want to say thank you for coming on here, my friend.
Happy to
How's
be
everything
here.
going?
This is my first podcast interview, honestly.
Hey. Hey, well, it is an honor to have you on.
Thank you, man. Not yet. I mean, ceramics, that's hell. I forgot that you were in my class. That was freshman year. I still have those cups.
I bet you do. I mean, they're dope. You killed it when it came to like I said, you have always been a crazy artist. Obviously, growing up, I used to always be like, "Hey, Pedro, you need to be a tattoo artist. You need to, help me get some free tattoos, this, that, and the other." And obviously, you didn't go down that particular path, but you have found a passion in art. And can you explain us, talk to us about that a little bit?
Well, I mean, so the long story, I mean, I've always been good with my hands. That's one thing I've always known. It's definitely been like, if it has to do with my hands, I'm good at it. Like as a kid, I'd always want the Legos rather than the toys that were already built. So I kind of already knew. Definitely, I think it has something to do with my heritage, trying to make my ancestors proud, working with my hands. But so I always knew at an early stage, I just didn't find my niche. Like you said, it was like ceramics, liked it, but didn't love it. Then it was like welding, and then it was wood shop. And then, I mean, it just ended up all leading to, and then for a long time it was tattoos. I mean, for a moment I was doing garage tattoos on myself and on oranges and shit. Like, if I didn't have such strict parents, like I probably would have ended up a tattoo artist. And so it just like all played to leading to what I'm doing now. Obviously, like some life situations that I probably couldn't even predicted or planned for, but somehow I always fell back on anything having to do with my hands. If it had to do with just about everything, finances, work, living, like I ended up finding out that if it has to do something with my hands, I'm all right. I just so happened to stumble back upon art and realize that I love this the most. So I have to run with it. I'd be stupid to not run with it. So, I
Right. And
mean, no,
yeah,
go
and
ahead.
I mean, obviously, throughout your social media, you could see all his incredible artwork, even just looking in, the background you have. You can see from the Clay Thompson jersey to the portrait of your dog to J. Cole to Kobe. I
You got
mean,
my brand ambassador, the
your
main,
brand ambassador sees it right there. No,
kind of
for
like
real, man.
the
And
name and the brand.
yeah, and it's honestly awesome to see, like I said, from someone who's grown up with you, just getting to see your journey and then how far you've came. What are some of the biggest obstacles you think you faced so far in the art industry?
It's kind of tough because honestly, like, so, like, if I had to be honest, maybe the last 3 years is how long I've been fully immersed in it. Everything before it be on my time, it's not like I was doodling every single day. So maybe for the last 3 years. And I have to be honest, like, I feel like I've been very lucky with how I've been received. I can't say too many negative things about it because it's all new to me. It's so far it's like, since I feel like I'm still a rookie regardless of what the finished product may feel like, but I think it's more internal problems, like maybe stuff that I make up in my own head, and it's not maybe what's in reality in the art scene. So maybe one, I may be like hard on myself on I'm not putting in enough hours every day because I am my own boss. Like, am I putting my 9 to 5 to where at the end of the week I do add up 40 hours minimum, you know? So that could be an issue. So it's more hard on myself. Like, I'll have bouts of like imposter syndrome. Like, am I being creative enough? Am I good enough? Maybe I may like not take a win for what it is a win, and so it's more, I think I make issues because if I had to be honest, I feel like I've been pretty lucky, like a lot of lucky situations with the art scene and everything. I mean, a lot of support, a lot of strangers, a lot of artists reaching out, just keeping me motivated. So I can't complain. I think it's just more issues that I probably make up in my head, but it's also scenarios that I'm making up because I want to keep getting better. I don't want anybody to doubt that I'm faking this or that I'm not putting in my all into it. So I think it's like it could be bad, but it's good intentions for me making up those scenarios. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, every day is different with it. So I don't know. I haven't necessarily felt like I have negative, like I've been receiving too much negative things that puts me down. It's more stuff that I make up in my brain. So
Right. Almost that like perfectionist syndrome, if that was a thing. I always
I, it,
wanted to be,
it's
not
like,
saying perfect, but
it's my artistic OCD is what I call it. Like,
yeah.
it wasn't until I started painting that I realized, like, yeah, man, I really might have OCD. And it's not so much, and I guess it could be healthy because, I mean, I guess I get to create these things, but like, I have to set timers for myself in times because I'll like zone out and try to be perfect and then forget that it was lunchtime 2 hours ago and I got to eat if I want to, so I think it is like an actual OCD.
So, out of all the things you've done, what was the project that ultimately told you like I can do this for a living instead of just a hobby? Like what was a certain project that really felt like you were like, you know what? I could I could really do something with this.
Had to be Stephen Thayer's college portrait in his gym because before that it was all street graffiti. Obviously, street graffiti, I mean, in most people think of it as vandalism before they start dissecting it as art. And I can understand the tagging. I don't like the gang tags that we see a lot around our area. Yeah, I get it. But when you see a really nice graffiti piece, like I look at it like, damn, that man shading is A1. He knows his tones and stuff. So I mean, so it was a lot of graffiti, so nothing really much that I would even want to display, but it'd have to be Stevens. Like, because before that, I had done almost a stenciled Kobe that I did for a backyard gym in my backyard. And that was more like I want to put attention to my backyard gym. I want the gym to look official. It had nothing to do with like, look how good I can make this Kobe look. It had nothing to do with that. I was more like, come work out with us. It's COVID. Everything's closed. And
Yeah.
then everyone in the comments when I posted it, I think Zach, our buddy Zach, said, I remember this clearly. He said, like, damn, bro, you should make a living for this. And I literally commented, like, yeah, right, bro. I wish. Like, blew it off. Start like, and I was being dead serious. Like, no, like, look, the money off of murals. And then obviously Steven saw it. He was just in the process of opening up his gym, wanted to make it different. And the beautiful thing, see, these are like one of those moments where it's unpredictable that leads to like now, because he ended up being like my sketchbook, life size sketchbook. He gave me complete freedom on every wall. And we kind of had a thing where, man, I'm not going to charge you because why would I? Like, you don't know what I'm like. I may end up being terrible at this. So it wasn't until I spent about 2 weeks doing his faces. That's when I consciously made the transition. No stencils, freehand. Let me see if I can make faces. Let me see if I can do portraits. Because, like I said, I got into tattoos very early, and it's very black and white with tattoo artists. You can either make the face look like a face realistic or you can't. So it was kind of like that, black and white in my head. So let me see if I can make his face. Let me see if I can make these jersey ruffles. And I mean, I did, I guess. Like, so I took a step back, stared at it for an hour, and I realized like I can do it. Like that whole process made sense. It wasn't like I was stuck. Yeah, it made sense on how I had to go. If I did get stuck on a certain part, I could work on something else, and it all led to a finished product. And I was like, I could do faces. And it was after seeing that finished product that I literally like Google on my phone, Pinterest, started looking at all these different things that would look sick in his gym and all these different things that I can make look realistic. So like it instantly transitioned from that to my next piece being a huge hand, realistic hand, detailed, and I finished that in 2 days. And then it just like I just kept wanting to get it better. I started looking more, and also I had to do a lot with Jex, which is an artist out of North Carolina. He like a lot of inspiration as far as like the realism, and like Royal Dog from down in LA. They do things with spray cans that I even as like I've been doing graffiti as a kid, and like even then I saw their work and it was like, damn, you can do stuff with spray cans that I had no idea. The straightest, thinnest possible lines. You can get the most beautiful fade with a fat cap and a spray can that makes like skin tones look so beautiful. And so it was learning and realizing like, oh yeah, you can do it with just a can. And then I'm like, let me see if I can. So it had to do with seeing it from another artist, and also just wanting to take a leap. Because if I had a choice, I want it to be a realistic. Like that is in my head, like my theme, what I like. I guess my styles. The more realistic, the more I amaze myself, and like I'm proud of it. So it was more seeing it, knowing that it can be done, and then literally just taking the leap to see if I can. If I couldn't, I would have. If like his face would have came out terrible, the whole thing I would have painted over it like, "Hey, Steven, I'm just gonna have to go with your logo." So it like yeah, I had to test myself, and I did, and then I just ran with it. The little bit of confidence that I gained from that one, I doubled down on it, and haven't
Took off from
stopped
there.
trying to get better from it. Like I haven't stopped doubling down, I guess. So
Yeah, no, and obviously from someone who's seen the work that you've done and what you're talking about, phenomenal. I mean, there's no better art piece that I've seen displayed in a gym, especially knowing that it was done by, someone that I know. So, and
and you guys
obviously,
like the process. You guys like you and our group snap saw like outlines, me in
right.
there at 3 a.m. So it was like those moments too, because like with the different jobs that I've done and everything, the 9 to 5, like I like there's nothing else that I could recall where I was so happy, so proud, and so motivated. Start, middle, and finish afterwards. And now looking back, I'm still proud of those 3 years later. There's not many moments where like even at work, doesn't matter, even after a good promotion, I'm making more money, I'm still gonna hate maybe the middle for some time, or the beginning's gonna suck ass. But like it's the first time to where it was like I have no idea if I can do this, but I'm gonna do it. And I was like just so motivated, so happy, and then just like at peace, beginning, middle, and after. And so like you guys saw the outlines, you
Right.
guys saw shading. I think I painted like I think I did a Kobe in there. Yeah, the Kobe, which is probably still one of my favorites, and I still repost. And I think I redid his face like 4 times. And not even mad about it, just like, no, all right, made him look like Shaq. I need to start over because I know what my end goal is. I know what the end goal is for myself, for my own personal expectations. And it was like those moments like, yeah, I'd be stupid to not run with this. Like I'm putting 110% on my time off. Imagine if it was my job. Imagine if I did get to focus, dream, sleep, eat, all of this. I could get better. And that's just been the end goal. That's the goal. That the next piece better than the previous now.
Yeah. And what made you come up with sport and art? Because obviously, a lot of the pieces that you do, and a lot of sports, have been a big part of a lot of your pieces. So, where did you get the idea to where it was like, you know what? Obviously, I love sports, I love art. What gave you the idea to put them together?
It was that. It was literally just like the love for both. Enough love to where I don't want to have to like pick and choose on like my time going to one or the other. You know, like some of my best work where I zone out, I have games playing on the background. Like, and from an early age, it's been sports. It's always been it's been the Raiders, and then before even team sports, it's been individual players. I've always had a fascination or been inspired by just amazing feats by individuals in team sports or just team and stuff like that. But at an early age, even from high school, I was pretty realistic with myself. Doesn't matter how bad I want to be a receiver. I'm 5'9". It's not gonna happen. And yeah, and so even for I think like elementary school, I wanted to be a basketball player so bad. And like this age, I look at how tall my dad is, and it's like it was never gonna happen. So at least I was realistic enough to know, like, yeah, I'm not gonna be delusional and say that's my end goal, but I knew there was other avenues for it. So it was just watching it. I just knew I can be a great fan, and then I'm obviously gonna paint what is inspiring to me, especially if it's not for anybody specific. If I'm just painting to paint, I'm gonna paint what inspires me. And players I'm such like I love my Raiders. I love the Warriors. My A's. Oh man, the A's break my heart, but it's a love hate. So sports were there for me first, and it's not something that I just wanted to like shoot to the side to just focus on art. And I think social media played a lot to do with it on how and like the Kobe, because when Kobe passed, you saw the influx of all these murals and all these different art pieces, and then that's what people are motivated by sports. It's so much bigger than just a ball or football, and it's we live by this shit. That we love this. This is the stuff that we talk and argue. So why can't I do both?
Right.
And I kind of like at first I was just doing sketches of just players, and then it was just so happened a client had asked me to do a jersey, and ball rolled from there. Like why can't I? I've been grateful that being able to combine my two loves that I have to now where it's almost like a cohesive one thing. Like I could call it sports art, whatever, but at least I'm getting to dabble in my two favorite things. If I wasn't painting, I know for a fact I would be watching a game. So it's like I kind of just why not? Why not combine it? Why not combine it? Everybody
Right.
loves sports. It's much bigger than just a player sometimes. People get motivated by this just like I was. So it's why not? Like why not?
Yeah. No. No, for
Did
sure.
I
And
did I set out to like get so involved with the sports scene? Probably not. I didn't think so because obviously you want to have to connect with some players, teams, and stuff to continue dabbling into it. I didn't expect it, but I'm happy. I'm glad it did because now I really get to enjoy the sports teams. Bro, I watch the Raider games now, just like my God, right there, like
right.
just from like a repost or something. Like it's made me love this. It's helped each other. I love watching it that much more. I love my teams that much more, and I love doing the art that much more because of each other. They've kind of like sharpened each other. So ran with it. Not to say that I won't paint anything else. That's another thing where I want to do anything, everything, like cars, anything. I don't care. Like I even
Right.
or I guess I got notoriety for the jerseys and sports. I mean, I was doing cartoons. I was doing Spider-Man. Like when I was a kid, it was comic books. So I like that comic book, almost realistic, but it's cartoon style. So it's like I'll do anything, but on any given Sunday, I watch sports. So obviously, it's going to be more sports paintings, more sports art, and it feeds my creativity. Like there's just so many. I can paint a ball one day. I can paint a basketball, a hockey puck. I did that. Or like there's just so many different things to keep it fresh, keep it creative, and that's what I need. If one thing that's going to kill my creativity is just being stagnant or doing the same shit over and over again, even if it's a nice ass jersey for someone. If I'm just doing jerseys, it's going to get old.
Right.
So I think it's more so the different things that it has to offer with sports. Hockey puck one day, a jersey another day. Like all between all the different sports, the jerseys are different and look different. So just those small different changes keep it fresh, keep it interesting too. So it's like there's just more shit that I like. It just keeps it just keeps it new, almost feels it fresh. Like it's almost new experience every time a new player gets or I have to paint a new player, new color jersey or anything. Like I can do shorts, I can do cleats. Like our player wants his fucking shin guards painted. I'll do shin. Like it doesn't matter. So
Yeah, there's no cap on your art.
there's I mean I don't want to put a cap or put myself in a box or like nah. I'll do a helmet. Like I see college teams like Army and Navy. They've been coming out with like custom painted helmets, and that's kind of clean because you kind of got to paint those more like you would a car. And I love cars. I mean, I have it tattooed on my body. That was like me and my dad love cars. So it's like now I get to tickle the fancy of my love for cars while doing a helmet, while getting to I'm tickling all my fancies, I guess. So that's yeah.
Yeah. And so, what opportunities have your art brought to you? Have you like notoriety, recognition, things of that nature?
Well, obviously, first first and foremost, more local, I guess. It's kind of cool to have people that I'll see it like on a weekend, kind of see it, and I guess get just be amazed by it. But players like Raiders, that was I mean, shout out to social media, man. Honestly, if it wasn't for social media, be it would not have happened, and that's why I bring up the local people because if it wasn't for them reposting and sending them to who I asked them to send it to, they may have not noticed. But I mean, if I had to say to start off, that really got me like, fuck, okay, maybe this is possible. It was like something simple, and it was just like a repost from Max Crosby when I was doing a Raider mural for the Mahat family's kind of man cave, and from there I kind of doubled down on it. I've been lucky enough to get invited to Josh Jacobs' house to deliver him a jersey. That was ridiculous as a fan because like, bro, we would pay X amount of hundreds of dollars just to get close enough to watch these guys at a distance, you know? Like,
Right.
I have stories of some of my friends when we were young, like, I was on the way to the Coliseum and I got cut off by Jerry Porter. Like, interactions like that, you got so close, you got cut off in traffic by a pro player, but because we love sports so much, this is a story that 15 years later I'm retelling third story, you know? So it's like it's crazy, man. It's led me to do work that's been able to get donated to charity for a great cause, which is probably one of my favorite things, which was for a fan fest in Vegas, which then led to my main kind of thing right now, which is being partnered with Woodson whiskey. And that yeah, man, that was to me that felt like my draft day moment, if anything. Being a fan, being a hardcore Raider fan, you and I know, like when Charles Woodson came back to the Raiders, we couldn't be kept quiet.
Right.
We were talking shit every weekend, and I've probably watched him in a Raider jersey more than any other person as long as I've watched sports. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's all led to that, to this, what I'm doing right now, and bro, I could stop painting right now, which is not what's gonna happen, but I would probably be happy with just that little full circle moment is what I think about. Like, it's crazy, bro. Charles Woodson, like, what the?
Right. And that was going to be actually my next question: is the opportunity that you got. Explain to the people, for those who don't know, how that opportunity came about. How did you get on Charles Woodson's radar? And yeah, like I said, talk to us about that a little bit.
So it was kind of like the domino effect of things that happened. Obviously, I had a moment or a good bout. I think it was about last year or the year before. I think I did maybe 6 months of just jerseys, and so obviously that put me kind of into that sports art scene. And I had gotten contacted by Raider Cody, uh, who's with Blackout Division, which is kind of like umbrella media company for the Raiders in Vegas and stuff. They do podcasts. They have a party bus tour before the game. You get a before and after party with drinks and stuff. So it's kind of like trying to enhance that Vegas Raider fan experience. And they had contacted me for the Battle of Las Vegas's um, charity event, which is the Vegas Knights versus the Raiders in a softball game. He said they would donate a jersey by Charles Woodson and Woodson whiskey, and then I would paint it, frame it, goes to the fan fest. We'll raffle it off. Proceeds go to charity. So it kind of, that's kind of where it started, because it was almost like a three-person collaboration. Woodson Whiskey donated the jersey, the autographed jersey. Blackout middleman to everything and orchestrated it all for us and did a lot of the grunt work. And then I put in the hours on that. Went out there, mingled around, got to meet Nate Hobbs in that process, and just further interact with certain people that are connected to Woodson Whiskey. And then I want to say after that event, maybe about a month later, I had gotten a text from Joel, sports media marketing with Woodson Whiskey, that runs all of it. Basically, is partnered with Charles Woodson, asking if I can get on a phone call with him about something they had in mind, and he had called saying that they wanted to come out, and this is right after they had become the official bourbon of the Raiders too. So it's not just that they're official, like Modelo and the Raiders, like they're part of the Raiders, which was crazy. First time in NFL history for any ex player to do that with any team. So like a little bit of history, and a month later I get contacted because they want to kind of switch pace now that they were officially partnered with the Raiders. And their initial idea was every year come out with a new, different commemorative bottle collab with local artists. So every year it would be a different artist. This being the first year that they signed with the Raiders, they contacted me saying that they wanted to work with me for the first bottle, and the rest is history, man. Hung up and started crying. Literally started crying at that phone call. And yeah, man, that after that phone call, I think I gained a lot of gratitude for every step, every little, like what Kobe said, the journey is the dream. Like I believe that little more having these type of phone calls, because the effort and the love that I had, like doing a jersey at 4 o'clock in the morning by myself while no one's watching, like I was happy doing that, and it led to this. So it's like getting those phone calls, it's like it made me fall in love with the journey, whether it ends up as a fail or a success or not. Like the journey is the dream, just like Kobe said. So like, yeah, man. So it was a bunch of different things, and I also, to anybody out there, you gotta just, even if the opportunity is tiny, you kind of gotta take advantage of it. You have to find out for yourself, like why not? Who? I didn't make any money off of this fan fest, and I had no plan on it. Because I'm not doing it for the money, or else I think I'd get bored of it if it was just about the money. And like you're gonna have to do free work. You're gonna have to donate some. You're gonna have to take opportunities that you may not have to initially do, and you don't know what it may lead to. Like someone might have said I was done for donating free work that I would normally charge X amount of dollars, driving out to Vegas, and I was only going to drive out there because it was a handmade frame. I've seen shoes get stolen out of UPS boxes, and I'm not going to risk it. No. So it was going to get hand delivered anyway. Like, why would I do that? And it's like, look what it's led. It's paid dividends. It's paid itself off, if not more. And the only way to find that out is to literally just say, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So it's been like a domino effect, a bunch of different events that I had no idea was going to lead to it, but it so happened to, you know, be almost stepping stones to lead to it. And I'm grateful to everyone, man.
Yeah, like one of those situations, like, your work just spoke for itself. You were able to put out so much content and so much artwork to where you were recognized by, again, one of yours and mine favorite football players of all time, and Charles Woodson. And that's awesome, man. Like I said, I've always been proud of you and always been there every step of the way. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, to see where you are now and see the opportunities that you've gotten, awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
And so,
Appreciate it.
what's next? What's next for you?
I have no clue. And I think that's the most beautiful part about it, you know? Because since I started this journey, it's everything's almost been played by ear. And that's not to say I'm not organized. That's not to say I'm all over the place. I don't have goals. I don't, you know, it's more so like I like all the opportunities that came to me were just a random phone call, or a random message that I might have taken a week to respond, which I'm sorry, you guys, whoever has gotten that. But like it was all things that I don't think I could have made force someone to do. I can't force someone to call me and stuff like that. So I don't know. There's things down the pipelines. I do like without there's certain players that I am working with. B jerseys coming out done for players themselves. Uh Without saying too much, I don't think this will be my last whiskey bottle, you know. So without saying too much and without making it set in stone, like if all goes well, this may not be my first and only whiskey bottle. But no, the uncertainty of it is probably the best part. And how I know I love what I do and how like is because it's not a scary thing. Like I did construction before. I mean, I had a set out plan for a year and 6 months, 18 months per court, you know. Like I had an 18-month plan and it was irritating. It was irritating having an 18-month plan because I'm giving myself anxiety worrying about like did I do enough the last 6 months? I have another 12 months. Like, you know, so it's not scary so much. It's almost I'm learning to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. So not necessarily knowing is a good thing to me, but I just know that if it has to do with paint with whoever I partner with or may work for, like I just know I'm gonna give it probably 210%. I'm gonna want it regardless of whatever gets on my plate. I'm gonna try to exceed expectations, and that's at least the one thing I know for a fact. So who knows? And I've if there's one thing I've kind of began to learn is with a mentality like that, then I mean, hopefully it works in my favor. And I'm hopeful that it will work in my favor with that because I don't think I'll let myself get to a place where I won't keep painting. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
All I know is
Yeah.
commissions are still open. Like
Right.
commissions are still open. So
And like I said, with the mentality like that of just never being complacent, that will take you a long way itself. Because I mean, just getting recognition from again Charles Woodson, Josh Jacobs, Max Crosby, Debo Samuel, and all the other athletes who have recognized your work, you could easily be like, "Oh shoot, hey, I'm here, I made it." But
yeah,
instead, that's just fueling you to even go harder, to put out more work, put out more content, so that you can be viewed. And obviously, you're viewed in your city, but you're doing this for the love, and then obviously, people who love your work, one day you'll be viewed globally. I mean,
it's
shoot,
it's definitely yeah. You got to look at it with like bigger picture, I guess. Because I mean, I could be complacent with just like I got blue checks messaging me, but
right?
instead I kind of look at it and I'm like, okay, then that means I have something that more so. I guess it's like I could be complacent. Like, yep, look at my. I contacted and talked with all these people, but then I'm like, why can't I have a blue check? You know, why can't I be the one messaging people and they're like, what the fuck? So I guess it's
Right.
motivating. It's motivating, and I think I don't want to get complacent because like for example, like my first player jersey was a Devonte Adams one, and that was again just a random like chance encounter. That was my buddy Sticks and Connor our at Stevens Gym at the same time as Bo Fryer, which is Devonte Adams' best friend, is at the same spot, and just so happened to hype me up, and it led to that. And in that like 2 weeks that I was doing a jersey for him, it was like this is great. Like I don't want to get complacent because I look back at like those 2 weeks leading up to it, and it was probably the most fun. I think I slept maybe like 2 hours out of like 4 days trying to get it done in time because I had like a week limit. But as hard as it got, it was probably one of the more gratifying things. So yeah, man, I don't know. It's I don't want to get complacent because if the moment you get complacent, I know I'm gonna get bored, and that complacency will kill my creativity, and I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
Right.
So rather than being so amazed off a blue check, let me kind of see if I can build a relationship so these messages keep coming in. So it's almost like a normal, I guess. I try to remove the pedestal from it, and you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, man. Honestly, like I said, the whole journey, your whole journey, it's awesome. Like I said, I've got to watch it, I've got to witness it, and I'm just continuously watching the growth. And you are one of the people who've inspired me to get behind this microphone and chase a dream that I've always had. NFL didn't work. So the next best thing is let's sit here and let's talk. Let's talk sports. Let's talk about what's going on in the world, in the sports world, and then let's bring a light to the people who are artists or however they are in
Yeah.
related to sports and things like that. So I thank you for, like I said, inspiring me to get up off my and start
Right.
getting it. You know what I mean?
See, and that means a lot, honestly. Thank you. You know, I'm gonna like support your pie, which I mean, I'm not surprised, meaning because like you should have been doing something like this. It's like out of our group of friends since we were kids, it's you and like Brandon that should have like either been a coaching or an announcer or something, criticizing something to do with a ball sports, team sports, out of anything like
Right.
you like, and you dip into just about everything. So I'm not surprised. It's more like you should have been doing this a little longer.
Right.
And
For
like
real.
I'm happy to see it because if there's one thing I've learned is like how much smoother the wheel turns. It's gonna be hard, trust me. But the like wheels of life kind of, it's crazy how much smoother they turn when you are motivated and when you do have a passion and you have a purpose or you feel like you have a purpose and it's fun doing it too. And it's like if something bad happens, you know you can fall back on this, or maybe this is a vehicle that can take me out of it. So it's, I love seeing people find that niche because I feel like I found mine, and it's like probably made the less amount of money that I have like in my working career, and I've probably been the most happiest, you know,
Yeah.
like, and that, so it's, if you love it, do it, man. You have to do it. You'd be stupid not to do it, kind of thing.
Right.
Like
And
I'm
like you
not
said, it took me forever to do something that I was
long,
passionate about.
long over
Too
because
long.
is it? Yeah, I mean, football, man. You wouldn't let it go. Like,
Right.
but see, that's the thing. But see, that thing, that's what shows that it's a lot bigger than just a sport. When you have like cases like that, like there's a reason why it's so hard to let of something that you put hours, physical, mental, everything into. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. I think it's like you finally learn you don't have to necessarily be on the field
Right.
with getting your fix. Like, go interview these young cats on the sideline. Like, fuck it. Like,
No, for real.
and I'm happy for it because I can like you're gonna excel that much more because you're passionate about it, and that's just that. Me as your friend, not even as just an artist doing the same thing. Like as a friend, I'm happy to see you do that.
Heck yeah. And I appreciate that most definitely tenfold.